So for part 2 of perfumes that I bought because, well, or at least I noticed because of the bottles and then purchased partly because I like the bottles, and this is the ones that I actually liked, and I think there might be more of these, so I'm doing pretty well. So I had Stella Pop Bluebell in that first one that I made when I didn't have a microphone, so you know. But I had, before I had Stella Pop, I had Bluebell, I had Stella Pop, and I had and still have a little 30ml of this that's a bit more used than this one, but this one I bought when I heard that was discontinued, and I was like, oh no, that's rubbish. Now Stella Pop, I just thought it was so cool, I thought it was so smart, it's so pretty. Notoriously, you know, once I actually had it, love how it looks, absolutely stunning. I love this kind of bubblegummy purpley pink colour and how shiny it is. But I mean, they're notoriously terrible sprayers. Terrible, yeah, awful. But my goodness, this is delicious. This is such a pretty perfume. Oh, I love it. Okay, so this one to me is a ever so slightly green violet and tuberose perfume, and quite frangipani as well. But for me, I do tend to find that when there's violet in a perfume, it really dominates quite a lot, and so it has a slight bubblegummy tuberose in that. For some reason I can't say the word bubblegummy today, I have to say it really slow. But for me, this is quite violety. But it's like a sweetie, like a kind of, I'm trying to think of a good sweet to compare to it, because I want to say Love Hearts, but it's not that sharp, it's not so acidic, but it has something about it that's kind of synthetic in a kind of children's sweeties kind of way, but also just smells absolutely glorious and beautiful. It's like, oh, it's so nice, it's so beautiful. I love this perfume. So I have a rollerball to take in my bag, because you can't decant these at all. So I've got a rollerball that I take in my bag, and then I've got a mini for if I actually travel anywhere. And my goodness, I love this perfume. So this is one of the first perfumes I ever bought purely because I thought the bottle looks cool. And well, I mean, not purely because it was actually because of the tomato leaf, but then the tomato leaf note mixed with that bottle, I was like, well, I've got to try it because it's so cool. So this is top notes of tomato leaf, green mandarin and violet leaf, middle notes of tuberose, frangipani and violet, base notes of musk, sandalwood and cedar. And I don't really get much cedar in this, thank goodness, because I don't like cedar. I think the musk and the sandalwood gives it a creaminess along with the frangipani, but you get a bit of the tomato leaf that just keeps it green and stops it from going like cloyingly sweet. But it is still sweet, it's very tasty, it's super easy to wear, but you get, for me, the tuberose and the violet are the things that are really sticking out here, with also quite a lot of frangipani. I find this one quite floral, but I didn't like the Bluebell version because it became even more floral in a way that I didn't enjoy. So that one I will sell on at some point, but yeah, you can see where you spray this and it's just such a rubbish sprayer. It's a shame that they're such rubbish sprayers. It's also a real shame they've been discontinued. However, I've got another perfume that I bought very much because I loved the bottle. And this one is Forever Elizabeth by Elizabeth Taylor. Isn't that a cool bottle? It's so cool. I really love that. I tend to love anything that's kind of iridescent or opalescent, you know. I've always been a sucker for that ever since I was a child. Now this one, woo, this is greener, more floral, not as sweet, and lighter, but the deep dry down of this one has similarities to Stella Pop. It really does. Like, when I first got this, I was wearing it and I was like, oh. After I'd had it on for a while, I was like, what does that remind me of? What does that remind me of? And then it clicked. I was thinking to myself, there's something violety about it. There's something violety and green about it. What do I have that's violety and green? Now, I have a couple of other perfumes that are kind of violety. One's really creamy. One just smells like violets and raspberries. This one, though, this had something bubblegummy in it as well, even though, I'll read you the notes, there's nothing tuberose in here, but the notes are top notes of apple, green notes, blackberry and Italian mandarin. The middle notes are tiare flower, jasmine, rose, orchid and violet. The base notes, woody notes, sandalwoods, white musk, amber and cloves. So that, there's all of the Elizabeth Taylor perfumes have a lot of notes in, but this one's very gentle. It's a very sweet violet. It's not sweet as in it's a sweet perfume, but the violet in it isn't like too nose tingly, you know. The green apple at the beginning is what gives you a bit of that sharpness, but it dies down, and then it just, I think this is like a really very summery kind of greener version of Stella Pop, on me anyway. Yeah, there's definitely lots of similarities going on. But Stella Pop is kind of more girly, slightly more synthetic, but in like a really nice way. Like people say it smells like dollies, like old dollies from back in like the 80s and 90s. So yeah, I think people say Barbies used to smell like Stella Pop, so that, you know, it's really just very evocative. But this one, really easy to wear, again, really easy to buy. This one hasn't been discontinued. You can get it for between £15 and £20 for this big 100ml bottle. And actually, even though Stella Pop is discontinued, you can still get that one quite easily. You can get Stella Pop Bluebell very easily, and some people prefer that one because it's not quite so synthetic and bubblegummy. But for me, I like the synthetic bubblegumminess of it. You know, that's what I love about it, really. Now, let's move on to something very different. Okay. Yeah. So, this is Kim Kardashian Pure Honey. Now this bottle, I mean, come off it. Look how beautiful it is. Again, notoriously people do not like this bottle because it's really difficult to spray, but I sort of just decided I don't care about that because I love it so much. I just love this bottle. I think it looks so beautiful. It's just like lovely cut crystal. It's such a cool shape. But yeah, I mean, let's be real. It's almost impossible to spray with one hand. So it's very annoying, but it's very pretty. And this one, it's honey, but it's very floral. It's not edible. And it's really, really pretty. Not one that I can wear when it's, you know, like warm. This for me is very much an autumn winter kind of a smell because it is quite sweet, but it's not really sweet. I've got a lot of perfumes that are actually way sweeter than this, but it's a sweet floral, you know. And there's just something autumnal about this one, because I think this smells like honey and honeysuckle, basically. So the notes in this are top notes mandarin blossom, freesia and red rose. Middle notes beeswax, honey, honeysuckle and orchid. Base notes coconut, vanilla and musk. And to be honest, I don't really get, it's not, I mean, I think the vanilla and the coconut, I don't think you'd recognise those as like standalone notes. I think they just give it a slight creaminess, but for me it's honeysuckle, honey, maybe a bit of the mandarin blossom because I think there's a slight mandarin-y smell going on, but it's got just a hint of the kind of urinal smell that you sometimes get with honey, but nothing compared to some of the other honeys that I've smelt. It's very, very subtle, but I would say it's not a safe blind buy if you have a problem with honey because it's a very honey forward perfume, despite it being also very floral. So if you are someone that on your skin you get that really kind of urinal smell from honey, then absolutely don't buy this one. But I think it's very, very pretty indeed. I really like it. How am I doing for space? Not too bad. Now, next one. Now this probably won't even fit into frame because it's so tall. Yeah, it's just getting a little bit cut off, but there you can see it's very, very tall. This one is by Cafe, and it says Cafe Puro. Everywhere else it just seems to call it Cafe Green. It's really impressive, this perfume, and I'll tell you why, because it cost me about £4 and you can get it super cheap everywhere. I think this is a 50ml. Yeah, it's a 50ml. It's an eau de toilette. It smells very subtle when you first spray it, but then it just stays for ages, hours and hours this lasts. If you get it on your clothes, it will last literally all day. So I saw this bottle. I was doing my green tea perfumes, and this is one of the ones that came up as a comparison to something else, and I just saw the bottle and was like, damn, that's a cool bottle. Okay, I'm going to go and look at that. And I just assumed I wouldn't be able to find it anywhere, and then when I did a search on Google, I found it at like some of the UK pharmacy shops that's online that sell perfumes, and it was so ridiculously cheap. So I thought, it's probably going to be awful, I'm going to buy it. But the reviews were quite good, and then I smelt it and I was like, oh, okay, it's a slightly unusual green tea smell, or it was to me at that time, and it's very pretty. It's kind of creamy, you know, it's really nice. So the notes in this are top notes of bergamot, mandarin orange, pear and peach. Middle notes are tea, jasmine and rose. Base notes are musk and Virginia cedar. And for me, this is very bergamot heavy. It's sweet. It's powdery in a way that I think makes it smell a bit like matcha tea, more so than just regular green tea. Although there's definitely some green tea going on, but if you told me there was matcha in this, I'd be like, yeah, of course there is, because it definitely smells like that. And it smells like my, like a kind of, a slightly more Elizabeth Arden green tea version of the 4711 Acqua Colonia bergamot green tea. But it's much cheaper, and it's just, yeah, they're quite similar actually, those two, but there are slight differences, but they're definitely a bit similar. But if you just want a really reliable, cheap, kind of slightly matcha-ish green tea perfume, and you're okay with bergamot, quite strong bergamot, then this is a really good shout, and it's so cheap. It's like ridiculously cheap, and it's very long and thin, so I can shove it into little corners of my cupboard where I keep my perfumes without too many problems. So that's quite a good one. No one who watches me regularly will be at all surprised to see this, and I've talked before many times about it. I'm obsessed with it and I love it, but it's particularly like beautiful to me. I just love this bottle because it's so minimalist, it's so pretty, it's so see-through and glorious. It's very much up my street, and so is the smell. I mean, to be fair, I've smelled so many sweet things now that this is now smelling very sharp to my nose, but there's quite a lot of orris root in it, so once it dries down you get a real sweetness, but a very subtle, gentle, just stopping it from being screechy, you know. Oh my god, I just love it. It's so cool. It's such a cool bottle. And again, this is one where I had a little 30ml and I was getting into it, and then I tried it in high heat and I was like, oh my god, I'm obsessed, I love it. And then I found out that it was discontinued. I was like, really? Why? All these really amazing perfumes keep getting discontinued, and I just have to smell everyone smelling like La Vie Belle all the time, and it makes me so sad. So yeah, or Cloud, you know, everyone smells like Cloud, that's fine. Everyone smells like Baccarat Rouge, everyone else can do that. I'd like to smell like this weird thing, which smells like rain on pebbles, rain on hot pebbles, and that doesn't sound like a sexy perfume, but it's amazing. So the notes in this, top notes wasabi, violet leaf, mandarin, orange and pear. Middle notes pebbles, hedione, orris root, peony and rose. Base notes vetiver, white musk, incense, sandalwood. And you totally get every single one of those notes, but they're all subtle and beautiful and fantastically blended. It is utterly unisex, but not at all masculine. So like, I'm saying that as someone who does not like any perfumes that lean masculine. I don't like woody perfumes if it smells even slightly like a cologne. So nearly all of the CK ones I don't like, and generally a lot of the CK stuff that's supposed to be unisex, I just don't like it. This one, however, which is unisex, is perfectly unisex. It's stunning, and you get the sharp notes at the beginning. So you get the wasabi, the violet leaf and the mandarin at the beginning. Personally, my skin pulls out the rose as the floral in this once it dries down. So I get the pebbles, the orris root, sandalwood, rose. The incense just kind of adds to that kind of rain smell in a weird way. Like, it really works to make it smell like a kind of very clean but beautiful pavement. It's like super clean, sparry scent. It's absolutely lush. I'm obsessed with it and I love it. And it lasts insanely long. It's an eau de toilette. This will last 12 hours if you spray it on. It's subtle. The projection is very subtle, but it's monster in terms of like what it actually does. It's crazy. So then next up we have FCUK Friction Her. So this was, I'd seen this, someone talking about it as a skin scent. And so I kind of thought, well, I'm not too scared to try it then if that's the case. But I just love the bottle. I love this bottle. I love this texture on this bottle. I loved the colour. I loved the kind of nude look of it, and it looked like a skin scent. It looked gentle, and so I took a chance on vanilla, and I hate vanilla in a lot of perfume. So this, however, is like a vanilla that smells like a custard to me. In fact, this smells like what's it called? The custard with the cooked sugar on the top. Oh, a creme brulee. I think it smells like a creme brulee with some apples and berries sprinkled on the top. That's how I feel about this perfume, but it's very subtle. It's sweet. The sweetness lasts for quite a long time, but the overall scent doesn't last for too long. So the notes in this, that they don't have a top, middle and base for this. Coconut, sponge sugar, vanilla, red berries, apple blossom, honeysuckle, musk, amber, jasmine, sandalwood, woodsy notes, vetiver. I don't get any of the woods. The only floral that I get in this really is the apple blossom, that I just think translates as an appley smell, like an actual fruit apple smell. The red berries are very subtle, but there is definitely some kind of slightly acidic fruit at the beginning that when it's mixed with the coconut that you can smell in the beginning, then it gives you a slight pineapple-y smell mixed with the appley smell. So there's like, it's a bit like a very sweet and vanilla-y pina colada when you first spray it. But then it quickly dries down and the coconut chills out a bit, and the spun sugar and vanilla just gives it like a kind of custard smell. Yeah, it's hard to explain, but it's very nice. I still love the bottle. It's a really easy reach, and it's actually a vanilla that is so easy to wear in really hot heat, so it's kind of amazing. Speaking of vanillas, my first ever vanilla perfume that I bought. Oh, okay, yes please. And I saw this bottle and I went nuts. I was like, yes, I will have that, thank you very much. I'm realising again I'm going to have to really make some space for all this stuff. Maybe I'll pull this over here. And then try not to knock it over. So Mont Blanc, this is Signature. So the bigger bottle is kind of squat, and that's the one that I saw initially, but I was like, I'm not going to chance it with a big bottle for this, because it's vanilla and I might not like it. But my god, it's so cool. It's like a chunk of ice, and it's a very cool perfume, very cold musk. I'm filming this in summer, and this is one of my kind of Christmassy perfumes, so it's stunning. I know that a lot of people love this and a lot of people don't like it, and I think that's because it's got a musk in it that will really massively rely on how you react to musks. Because for me, I, for instance, really dislike heartily Narciso Rodriguez musks, and anything that smells like that kind of musk. Their musk to me, for some reason, just smells like pond water. It smells stale and dirty and cold in a way that I don't like. This is a very clean, crisp musk to me. It's very, very cold. It's like icy. It's an icy musk, but it's an icy musk that's mixed with like a vanilla cream and clementine. So it is, I mean, I find this stunning, but I can totally see that other people would find this very weird, and like a lot of people find it synthetic. I don't have a problem with it smelling synthetic, because the clementine note in this comes across very naturally to me. But again, like as with all perfumes, right, it so depends on how you smell it specifically yourself. So the top note in this is clementine, middle notes ylang ylang, magnolia and peony, base notes vanilla, white musk and benzoin. And so despite having the benzoin in it, I think this is cold. It's a very cold smelling. Yeah, it's like it looking like it's in a bottle of ice is about right, and that's why I find this to be quite a good winter perfume. I think there's something nice about this, even though that, I mean, I guess you could say it would make sense in summer to cool you down, but no, there's just something about this that when it doesn't have, I think in summer, so when I'm spraying this now on me, it goes very vanilla-y, and the orange is not so noticeable, but in winter you really get that clementine smell, and it's just so pretty. It really makes me think of Christmas, so it's like a December-y joy perfume for me. But yeah, I just love that bottle. I think it's really beautiful. Okay, next. I don't need to give you any notes for this because they don't actually give you any notes, but so this is one of my beloved Acqua Colonias. Now, Acqua Colonia, I know 4711, I know their original cologne, and it's not for me, it's a bit too unisex, it's a bit too woody, it doesn't last very long, it's very citrusy, and I do like citruses, but I'm not mad for it. So I randomly came across, I can't remember what I was probably looking for mint, in fact I would have been looking, because this is the first one I ever bought. So this is Lychee and White Mint from the 4711 Acqua Colonia range, and I would have been looking for mint because I love mint in perfumes, but it tends to not be in many perfumes for women, so I was like, okay, I'll have a look. This one came up, and I saw the bottle, and I was like, that's never a 4711 perfume. And I just fell so hard for these bottles. I think they're really pretty. Again, like the same with this, I just love this kind of cut glass. I think they look stunning. And then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna try it. And it really is very minty. There's not that much lychee, but it was, my God, it was so good this year in like extreme heat. We had like a crazy heat wave. It got up to like 40 odd degrees in London, and in the UK generally. It was our hottest day on record, I think. And my flat was like insane, and I was off from work on that day, and I was just like, oh my God, I'm gonna die, but I don't want to smell sweaty. And I just used this, and oh my God, it's just so fresh. It is slightly toothpastey as well, but it's very fresh, it's very beautiful, it's mainly minty, that's the main kind of thing going on here. So next up, oh my God, this is such a stunning bottle. This is pure magic. I feel like to really show you these for now, I'm going to have to move these all over to one side, aren't I? Because otherwise you won't be able to see the full glory. This is Noa by Cacharel. Oh my goodness, isn't it glorious? I love it so much. God. It has this little pearl in the bottom. Can you see? Firstly, it's pearlescent on the top. It's got this incredibly cute little sprayer. Makes it impossible to travel with, of course, but and then they've got this little, there you go, you can see it there, it's a beautiful pearl. Just, it's so beautiful. I love this bottle. So I had, and I still have a little bit left in it. I had the 30ml, which is exactly the same bottle, just tiny, very, very cute. But it's just such a stunning perfume that there was no way that I wasn't going to get a big one, Just quick. Oh, it's bar soap. It's like a slightly latte coffee scented bar soap. That's what it smells like to me. It's stunning. It's beautiful. I love Noa. It is such a good thing to wear if you work somewhere where you can't, you're not supposed to wear perfume, It's like such a good one for that. So the notes, there's a lot of notes in this though, because it's a perfume from I think it's the late 90s. And there's always loads, 80s and 90s perfumes, a whole bucket of notes. So in this there is white musk, peony, freesia, green notes, peach, plum, middle notes, lily of the valley, lily, green grass, jasmine, ylang ylang and rose. Base notes coffee, vanilla, coriander, sandalwood, incense, tonka bean, cedar. I think there's, oh no, I'm mixing it up with oxygen. I was going to say there was pepper in it, but I think that's oxygen, which I also love the bottle of, and I sort of forgot about that one. But anyway, it's creamy, it's subtle, it's your skin but way better. It's such a beautiful perfume. I have videos on this. It was in my bar soap perfume ones, and it's got its own little video from way back when I started doing YouTube initially. It's very musky, very musky. I mean, there's literally musk in the top note, so it's very musky. But it's like a soapy musk and not a shampooey musk. It doesn't smell like shampoo. It smells like a bar soap. It's a creamy, soapy bar soap musk. It's just beautiful, and I love this one. And oh, the bottle is just gorgeous. All right. Next. Oh, we've got a real cutie. So this little guy. Oh. Tiny Little Mad Love by Katy Perry. So, okay, so I'd fallen in love with Indi, and I was like, I'm obsessed with Indi. That's another soapy, very musky perfume that on me just smells like coconut cream. Like, it's crazy. Love it. And I was looking at her other perfumes just because I thought, I might as well try. And generally speaking, they're not for me. I do actually like Indi Visible. I've got that one that's kind of like my, if I want to wear it in the evening, or if I want to kind of take it to the next level in sweetness, because it's got rum and I think it's got vanilla in that one, so it's sweeter. But this one, I just thought the note sounded amazing. So the notes in this one, I mean, well, firstly, I thought the bottle was amazing because it does actually look like a tiny little bottle of potion. It has such vibes of kind of a, like, you know, Wizarding World style tiny bottle of potion, or, you know, or like things like Death Becomes Her, you know, when you're going to get that cool little bottle of potion. I just thought it was so pretty. So the top notes in here are sorbet, strawberry, apple and pink grapefruit, and I was like, sorbet, I'm getting it. Middle notes floral notes, peony and jasmine. Base notes coconut, musk and sandalwood. So I was like, I should be totally safe with this. There's not a single thing in this that I don't like. And woo, it's a stunning strawberry and coconut ice cream smell, and the joy of it is that there isn't vanilla in it. So it has like, it has a intense sweetness, but it's not like a traditional sweetness you get in a lot of these perfumes that comes from vanilla. It's just, yeah, it's very sweet. I can't wear it in summer. Very sweet, very strawberry forward, but it's got that creamy kind of coconut in it with a sweetness that does make it a bit like an ice cream. It's far more ice creamy and creamy from that coconut than it is sorbet-ish, you know. I have another strawberry, well, I have a little sample because I can't get it because it's from Russia, but I have a sample of a strawberry perfume that is closer to like a sorbet because it's not as creamy. But this one, it's so cute. I really like this perfume. I think it's lovely. Okay, next one. So just trying to get these all out of the way. Bosh. So I had a mini of this and I really liked it. This is Covet by Sarah Jessica Parker. See if you can actually see the writing. And yeah, I started off with a mini and I just really liked it. And so I thought, I'm going to have this, despite the fact that people said it was weird. Loads of people say this is weird. And if I'm being subjective, it is weird. But because I've smelt so many, for instance, Jill Sander Sun perfumes, the original and its flankers, and I've smelt things like Lulu and Eden by Cacharel, this does not smell weird to me because I've smelt some perfumes that are almightily weird. This one I would say is unusual, but that's because I think it smells like an expensive niche perfume. I think it smells unusual the way that a lot of you know, not mass market perfumes smell. So I'll read you the notes and you'll understand why if you haven't seen this one before. So the top notes are Sicilian lemon, lavender, dark chocolate, pelargonium leaf, Middle notes are lily of the valley, honeysuckle and magnolia. Base notes are musk, cashmere wood, teak wood and vetiver and amber. And it's cozy, but it's light. It is an odd combination in that way, because to me, lots of people probably disagree with me. I get from this lemon, lavender, honeysuckle and chocolate, and then musk in the dry down. I don't really get magnolia or lily of the valley. I get entirely honeysuckle. I get a lot of kind of lavender. I get the Sicilian lemon is stopping those two things from being too sweet, too powdery, too cloying. It's keeping it juicy, and then the dark chocolate is almost like a kind of cocoa powder smell in it. You can really smell the chocolate in this. So if you don't think you'll like lavender, chocolate and lemon, then avoid this at all cost. But if you do think you'd like that, I really like this perfume. I think it's very pretty. I have moved it into my winter perfumes because it's so cozy. Like, it's super, super cozy. Really good for bedtime if you like bedtime perfumes. But yeah, because it's so cozy, I've kind of moved this into my autumn winters, because I think it's just going to be, oh my god, like sort of, you know, when the leaves start going red, this is going to be fabulous. So let's get that one out of the way real quick. Okay. Oh, this one. Pretty. It's so kitsch. So this is Florever, the original Florever by Agatha, Ruiz de la Prada. I have this in my tea perfumes, and I also have it its own little video, because when I first got it I was super excited. Reason being, well, firstly, the colour matches my room. I loved the colour. I loved the weird kitsch shape. It's this strange flower shape. It's just really cool. Very, very fond of it. And then I smelt it, and obviously, well, it's got tea in it, so I just assumed I was going to like it, because it's very rare for me to dislike a perfume that has tea in it, especially if that's in anywhere dominant note. But anyway, so the notes in this are yuzu and tea for the top notes, middle notes, wildflowers, magnolia, ginger and pink pepper, base notes, musk, hinoki wood, cedar and amber. I don't really smell cedar. I think the hinoki wood is giving this a really interesting scent that I don't recognise from many other perfumes. But what I pull out in this, and I'm assuming that wildflowers includes jasmine, some kind of jasmine or some kind of flower that smells like jasmine, because from this I get yuzu, tea, a bit of ginger, that hinoki, unusual kind of smelling hinoki wood, and jasmine. But it's a jasmine that doesn't bother me. It doesn't give me a headache. I mean, I think I'd probably have to be careful when I wore it, but when I've worn it, it hasn't given me a headache, you know, and I think it's very fresh and light, and that's why, and it's the tea that does that. But I was excited by this one because I genuinely think this reminds me of Cabotine de Gres, which is a perfume that I really like, but I can't wear because it's so heavy on my skin anyway, very heavy in the jasmine. It's very strong. But that is a ginger lily, jasmine, very floral, very strong, long-lasting, very heady perfume. Really intense. So it's too strong for me. There's too much jasmine. But I also couldn't stop sniffing it because I love the smell of it. Like, it was giving me a headache and I still kept smelling it, you know, but I love it. I'd love it on other people, but I can't wear it. This one, I think, is like almost like a summer version of that, because I can smell the ginger. I definitely get some jasmine in those florals, and the tea and the yuzu just keep it like super light, a little bit green, and I love this one. I was so happy to have got this. So yeah, that's an absolute banger, and it's really affordable. So then we have one of mine that's less affordable. I think nearly everything here is probably under £30, or at least you can get the 30 mils for under £30. Some of the 100 mils might be a bit more expensive, but even I think my CK2 100 mil, which is discontinued and therefore more expensive, is only about 32 quid. But this guy, this was £35 for the 50 mil in like a massive discount. So this can be a bit more expensive, but this is a drop to Issey by Issey Miyake. I don't know if you can see it there. This is extremely annoying, this bottle. I did love it when I saw it, and that's why I investigated it in the first place. But as you can see, you can't like you have to lie it down flat. So it takes up a lot of space and it's quite irritating. But, you know, I don't think it will... Oh, there we go. I'm going to just prop it up there like that while I read you the notes. So, the notes in this are top notes of almond milk and damask rose, middle notes lilac, solar notes jasmine, star anise and orange blossom, base notes vanilla, musk, ambroxan and atlas cedar. I really struggle with ambroxan. This, I think it's why this one is so strong on me. I think the ambroxan is just kind of crazy on my skin, and it can really go wrong. This one, it works, but this is an incredibly delicate almond and lilac scent on me. It's definitely musky, but there's something about the almond milk in it that makes it like a kind of lilac bar soap. It's very soapy and not in a shampoo way. It's incredibly powdery, but it's also soapy. And yeah, again, I can't wear this in hot weather because it's too powdery. It has to wait until, like, you know, cold weather. But it's a very natural smelling lilac to me. Really pretty, but it's very subtle and delicate, but it's also at the same time strong as hell. This thing lasts all day. You massively don't need to overspray it. You only need a couple of sprays and it's very strong. Now the projection is very subtle, I'd say, but I'm probably saying, you know, as lilac, like if you walk past a lilac bush or a lilac tree, I'm not sure if they're trees or bushes. I always think of them as bushes, but I might be wrong, so forgive me if I am. But you get just that gentle kind of whiff of it, you know, in a kind of cherry blossom way, you know. It's a subtle one, like you get that scent trail that's really gorgeous. That's what this is like, but to you, if you're wearing it, my God, it is strong and it lasts forever. So you do not need to overspray it. You don't need to reapply it throughout the day. It's a really good one for work. If you want to be able to smell yourself all day, you won't have a chance to reapply, and you don't want other people to think that you smell like perfume, because people will think that you've just used like either a lilac soap or a lilac powder, you know, like talc powder. So yeah, so that one is a safe bet if you're like working in healthcare or something. So therefore it's also quite good value because it's going to last forever. I'm never going to need to get another bottle of that. It's going to take me a lifetime to get through it. So the last one I only have a mini of. Oh my goodness, isn't it so beautiful? I love this bottle. Now this is Ambar, spelled Ambar with an A, Ambar by Jesus del Pozo, and this is something that came up when I was searching for a while ago when I was searching for tea perfumes. I like to look at the notes and see what's there, and I clocked the bottle and I was like, I'm going to try that one. And it just so happened that I could get a little miniature of it, and it is a very lovely scent that I'm sure at some point I'll get a big bottle of this. But this to me is a citrus perfume with a lovely light amber base that is basically an amber you can wear in high heat. So it's quite unusual in that respect, because obviously ambers are normally quite heavy, but the notes in this, the top notes are cardamom, tangerine and bergamot, middle notes are tea, iris and peony, base notes are amber, sage and Virginia cedar. I don't find this massively woody. I definitely do get a bit of that amber in the dry down that gives it like a gentle warmth. It's so pretty. Top notes, I mean, just generally the notes I smell, I get a lot of tea, I get a lot of tangerine, I get sage, a little bit of cardamom, some bergamot. I don't find it massively floral and I don't find it hugely woody. I think it's really light, really easy to wear. The actual big bottle is even cooler. It's got like a little kind of I want to say medallion, but it's got like a little kind of dangly thing that says Jesus del Pozo or Amber, I think, actually on it. A little metal thing. But for me, for now, I'm just holding on to this because, as you can see, I've got a million perfumes. But I absolutely think it's such a good one. If you normally wear ambers when it's cold, but they're too heavy for you, but you want to still have that ambery note when it's very, very hot, then this is a really good one for that. And the bottle is just stunning. I mean, isn't it just the colour? Oh, love it. It's so pretty, and as I said, the big ones are even cooler. So yeah, so this is my collection of things that I've noticed predominantly because I saw the bottle and went, oh, that looks cool, let me go and have a look and see what the actual notes are and maybe give it a try. And they're all ones that have stayed in my collection because I think they're all great. So yeah, a bit more positive than the last one, and probably louder because I've got a microphone now, so they might sound totally different. But I needed, like, there's been quite a gap in between me having time to film them, so you know, please forgive me if if you go from listening to one and it's really quiet, and then you go to listen to this one, you're like, ah, my ears. Anyway, so yeah, I'd recommend all of these. I think they're all beautiful. I hope I've described them well enough that, you know, you might look at the bottle and go, I love that bottle, I'm going to get the perfume, because I might like the juice inside as well.